Hello. Hello.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
FurryCures1221 thinks you should do 20 squats.
Pain. Just crying out in pain. Okay. Clip this in. Make sure I don't have any like wires all over the place. Plug this in. Hi there, Hawaiian Pizza. Hello. Hello. Thank you for the Final Fantasy wave. Sure. Let's move into this window early. I got all my. Well, actually, no. That's not true. I got 2 of my self-promoing posts to go. Ow! Why does Furry Cures have to like bonk me on the head so quickly? I am oh so close. I am doing my best. All right. Let me do these 20 squats, because then otherwise Bone is gonna think that I'm like just ignoring these after last night. Here we go. Wait, those squats. Thank you for the 10 bits. Ow. Thank you for the 10 bits, bestest boy. Thank you for the 10 bits. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. It has been a while. I gotta do my squats. Here we go. Big stretch for the big boy. Big stretch for the big boy. One.
That's a lot of nuts!
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why did you slut shame a panda? You're gonna need to explain yourself. 9, 10, 11. What is up with my left knee? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Thank you for the 20 squats, Furry Cures. Cookie! Cookie for bestest boy. Enjoy your cookie. You know what? I should probably adjust the, where's my streamer bot? There it is. Platforms.
Did you see it?
Cheers. Because I have it where at 5 points exactly, it does the cure. It does the cookie. I should make it like 5 to 10. I should make it that. So then that way you get the cookie. in either of those scenarios. Give me a minute, give me a minute, give me a minute. Cookie. So then if someone does, let's say, for example, 8 bits, cookie. Hi there, Rhyming Noodles. That's a cool name, Rhyming Noodles. Okay, so who do we, why did it say hello, Rhyming oh, no, never mind. Cookie for Jason. I think the reason it did that is because it was a test of like Rhyming Noodles was just like the basic
Hello.
All right, so we got Furry Cures, who's first in here. We got Code, we got Bone Mass Dog, we've got Hawaiian Pizza, we got the Bestest Boy, and we've got my moderator, Jason. Hello. Welcome. Oh, I just realized something. I don't have music in the background. I don't have like any... Oh, thank you for the extra himbo. Thank you for the extra himbo. I greatly appreciate it.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the stream. Actually, what I can do to get some like quote-unquote music is we'll just go straight into the game. That way we can hear like thingy-madiggies. Oh, I'm 12th in the queue. Never mind. Can you guys hear the Kingdom Hearts music in the background there? Also, I have like everything backwards. Put you to the right, put you to the left. Ugh.
Bone Masker Dog paid me to say the reason I shamed a panda because a baby panda came from the vibrating of my horse and panda in Minecraft.
Lol. Faintly. You faintly hear the music. Well, that's good. So long as it's faintly and not like, you know, a giant amount of it. Also, why did I get... Did I get an item? Cookie! Once again, for Bestest Boy. Did I get an item? No, I didn't. Okay, cool, 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 cool. I need to add you to the saddlebag, add you to the saddlebag. Don't know why I have all these things. Sort that. Thank you, Code, for the traffic cone. I've not done any, like, proper improvements to the health system in Vinyan yet. You have clips and you are excited. Excellent. Glad to hear people are excited. I have just
Quote
done nothing but sleep today.
130.
Shoot, fly.
Did you get a bikini code?
There's a fly, like, buzzing around. Where did you go? Alright.
Quote
Yep, someone's-
314. This is a really tall wiener. Jesus.
Maybe I need to somehow invoke, like, a global timer for the quote system so I don't get hit with, like, multiples, like, so close together. A little bit of water. Alright, so... for my day, hang on a second. I am just going to have this guy do some sit-ups while I'm sitting here and talking to you guys. So, for my day, no, I'm not going to embrace the wiener. Look at this. We're just going to have you watching this bunny doing his squats. All right. So, for Saturday, I didn't do anything important whatsoever. I was asleep. Can you make the glug 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 a redeem? I will try to remember to record it. Like, because I don't know what it sounds like. Hang on a second. If I grab this thingy-majiggy here, and then hang on a second, I'm gonna, because I can do a what's called a replay buffer, and that will have like the different audio tracks separated. So if I do this. And then I hit the, you know, the Insta replay thingy-majiggy. It saves like the last, I think it's 30 or 60 seconds. But I keep forgetting that if I ever press it, I actually need to go back and check what the hell I just, you know, clipped. I always forget to do that. I'm not a really good editor, I might add. I am just one zebra in this, like, crazy system of a Twitch stream. Yes, I see it. There's a chair. Like, because here's the thing. The zebra, parentheses, me, is playing a video game on a PC created by my desktop support technician, parentheses, me, and thanks to my financial manager, parentheses, me, I am able to play video games to a whirlwind of audiences. And I will have my social media manager, parentheses, me, distribute the fact that I am playing a video game. And then once the stream is done, my video editor, parentheses me, but he's really shitty at his job, will try and remember what clips have been created by the community. And thanks to my community manager, parentheses me, I will figure out which ones to utilize and will send it to my other social media manager for TikTok, parentheses me. All of this to help satisfy my owner, parentheses, not me. Who knows who owns me? It's certainly not the government. I mean, I have to, like, oh my god, I have to pay my taxes at some point. Fun fact, people, don't have multiple citizenships, especially with America, because I have to pay my taxes in Australia. That's easy enough to do. The tax system by the ATO, so the Australian Tax Office, makes it really simple to do your taxes. They already know what your income is because the company that pays you normally reports it to the ATO anyway. So you go onto the website, they say, hey, this is the job that we have on your system according to your tax file number. Is this the correct job? You say yes. They say, cool, this is how much tax you might owe. Do you have any donations that need to be a part of this? And you say no or yes, depending on how charitable you are. And then you can start doing all the fiddly nonsense like, oh, I would like to have this much off my taxes taken off because I had to purchase this keyboard here for business purposes at my office. And then the fact that I worked from home, I would like to try and have this much of my electrical bill not go towards my taxes because I had to pay for it myself. In which case the ATO will say, great, please, have a timesheet or just use our, really quick and handy, 30 cents on the dollar calculation. And you say, great. And then you hand in your taxes. And if you're lucky, you don't have to pay any further taxes to the Australian government. They send you a bit of money back. Excellent. No fucking around going on. The US government, however, even though I'm working in an entirely different country that they are allies with, I still have to send in my taxes into the US. And it's really annoying because it's the same thing every time. Hi, I am a US citizen. Where was your last place of residence? Not in the States. Please tell us your last state of residence. I haven't been in the States in a number of years. Please tell us your last state of residence. Here is my grandfather's address where I've done my, mail-in voting. Great, thank you very much. Did you make any income in the United States? No. Have you done any donations? No. You need to tell us if you've earned any money whatsoever outside the States. Why? Because we need to know if you are doing any sort of tax nonsense. I have been earning money outside of the States. Here is a copy of my taxes from the Australian government and the amount of money I earned in Australia. Thank you, citizen. We will now proceed to do the calculations on how much tax you owe to the federal government for earning money outside the US. And then we give you a credit based off how much taxes you had to pay in the foreign country. Yes, cool. Thank you. I had to pay taxes to Australia. Here's the amount of taxes I had to pay for. Most often than not, I'm paying more taxes in Australia per dollar than I would have in the States, which makes it great because I will go to the American government, show them my tax return or my tax thingamajiggy from Australia, and they'll say, good news, citizen! You do not have to pay any further taxes to the United States because the amount of taxes you paid in Australia equal to or greater than the amount of taxes we would have asked you to pay if you earned this money in the United States. Thank you for being an American citizen. We hope that you are not going to be inconvenienced when you have to do this again next year. Thank you. Can you make it easier, like with a free filing system? Absolutely not. You see, we have gotten ourselves lobbied because of tax filing programs such as Equifax, MyOb, and TurboTax. We would love to help our standard citizens, but quite frankly, you should have earned more money and lobbied us if you really wanted to change the tax system. Thank you for your contributions. Fuck you. And that is my tax filing experience. And it's going to be even more annoying when it comes around to April, because I have been earning money from Twitch, which I do not know if I have to tax that in Australia or in America. I will be really fucking pissed if I get taxed in the US because of it, and then taxed again in America. I fucking hate that. I had to pay double tax on a Valve Index because I couldn't buy it here. I had to buy it in the States, and then I had to pay the taxes for importing it into Australia. Please stop making taxes so hard. We're an international existence now. Countries mean fucking little in the internet. Thank you for my rant. Also, you have a really good dinner there, Code. All warriors must choose their own path, as Gozetsu well knows. Oh my goodness! Bone. Bone. When did you get that? Hang on, can I zoom in into the top? Do your cute rating next. Actually, no, I can do your cute rating. Check this out. Cute. Look at that icon! It's Chainsaw Man! That you cannot tell me that's not just Chainsaw Man. You made yourself a little Pochito. Wait, Pochito. Pochita? Pucciata? You made yourself the chainsaw doggo from, like, the first episode. You have one with your tongue out. Awesome. Puchita. Yeah, Puchita. I absolutely love Chainsaw Man. I'm pretty sure Chainsaw Man is in my throne. Is it in my throne? Yes, it is. Chainsaw Man Volume 1. Do you want to see it? You can share it in the Discord. We have a channel for personas and for pieces of art if it doesn't really fit in line with personas. And that reminds me, I need to go and double check Blue Foxy Nicey Icy's message, because he sent me a lot of stuff. Hang on a second. Calm
your rice paddy.
Did you guys hear that? Hang on.
Calm your rice paddy.
Oh, that's going into both comms and game capture. Give me one moment as I fix this. Properties. I need to get Telegram added into the executable. There we go. Double check the comms. Properties. Yep, that has the Telegram.
Don't make me send you to Jesus myself. Emotional damage. Oh, you're next.
Okay, okay, that one I like. Brutus has toe beans now. Who the fuck is Brutus? Wait, how do I download these things? Okay, so don't make me send you, and then he has like a second take of emotional. What's this one?
That's it.
Alrighty then. I think I can. All right, where's my Telegram? All right, and then if I group my Telegram downloads by date, I should have it as like a collection of thingy. No, it does not. Damn it. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna save the calm your rice paddies. Jesus. I will send you to Jesus. All right. Where's my named sounds? Where is Blue Foxy Nicey Icy sounds? Do I not have Blue Foxy Nicey Icy in its own little, like, folder? I swear I did. Blue Foxy Nicey Icy sounds. Oh, sounds streamer. That's where it's gone. Okay. Where's sounds? D sound. It's in an S. Sound streamers. There we go. All right. Icy line 1, Icy line 2. Calm your rice patty. What's the second take?
Emotional damage.
Yep. All right. I'll take that one. I'll take his second take rather than his first.
Don't make me send you to Jesus myself.
Yep. I'll go for that one. I'll go with the don't send me to Jesus. And then, apparently, oh my god in Vietnamese.
Trời ơi.
Yep, I'll take that. I do not know Vietnamese, but I'm hoping this is the only time he speaks to me in Vietnamese, so I know that he's just saying, oh my god. There we go. All right, minimize that. And yes, Chainsaw Man is in my list of like thrown thingamajiggies. You sent all 3 images. Oh, you sent it in the arts? Yay, you sent it in the arts. Oh, that's Brutus. And he's got toe beans. You are the Lorax, you speak for the cheese, and for some fucking reason they're speaking Vietnamese? Oh. Americans may fear the Vietnamese, but the Russians will always fear the... What's the name of the guy who's called the White Death again? I know this one. I want to say Polish. No, Finnish. It's Finnish. Hold on a sec. White Death. Give me a second. Finnish sniper. Yep, that's it. White Death. Americans may fear the Vietnamese, but the Russians will fear the Finnish trees. Ooh, that's actually a good quote. The Americans might fear the Vietnamese, but the Russians will always fear the Finnish trees. What is that emote? Nice. All right, back to the game. If you want to show, you can. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. I can't keep getting distracted, however. I need to get back to Gozetsu, our fucking Japanese daddy. I will not pursue her. It is for her to think on our master's words and recognize the futility of her course. Those, at least, are my thoughts upon the matter. Yours may be different. Should you wish to give chase, I will not bar your path. We each have but one life, and it is not to be spent recklessly in pursuit of our goals.
Bowmaski Dog has added quote number 337. The Americans might fear the Vietnamese, but the Russians fear the Finnish trees.
Wait. How did he say it? Hang on. How did he say that? Say...
Vietnamese.
Oh, hang on.
Vietnamese.
That's your issue. Hang on a second, Bone. Hang on a second. You did a typo. Did I speak in typo? Ding. You can't spell. Okay. I'll delete. Okay, hang on a sec. I'm gonna go down to the thingy-madiggy. It's very important to think about your punctuation. Number 1, Americans is a capital A. I do not have a huge problem with the lowercase American, but Americans might have an issue with the lowercase American. And then, yeah, Vietnamese. Uppercase, and the fact that there is a nummies. So it's N-A, not E. So it should be along the lines of the Americans might fear the Vietnamese, but the Russians fear the Finnish trees. But yeah, also that's the other thing. Finnish is 2 N's and a capital F. I should really make a point to... People should be very careful of their grammar. How in the world, like... I know people have had, like, the shit kicked into them because of the different there, and there. And then, meanwhile, our hour of need is not our hour.
Quote number 337. The Americans might fear the Vietnamese, but the Russians fear the Finnish trees.
Hey, that sounds good. Excellent work. Nice. Stealing all these rhymes from Dr. Seuss's book. Oh, look at these furries. Oh, what fucking crooks. Hey. Was that a Dr. Seuss rhyme? Are you stealing from the dead Dr. Seuss? I'm pretty sure he's dead. Can chat double check? Is Dr. Seuss dead? I'm pretty sure he is.
Bonker.
Ow. We each have but one life, and it is not to be spent recklessly in pursuit of our goals. I pray she realizes this soon. He's dead? Okay, good. Alright, where the fuck am I going? Search for Yugiri. Ah, okay. Nice. Click out of that. Dun, dun, dun. So, very dead. How the hell do you not... Look. He might be immortal, okay? J.K. Rowling is still somehow alive. When was the last time we heard of, what's Mahuzi? Turtle Senator. Turtle Senator. What? Mitch McConnell, that's it. Is he still alive? He fell down like a set of stairs or some shit, didn't he? Hang on. I swear he fell down a set of stairs. Like, hang on. Mitch McConnell, stairs. 2 weeks ago, he suffered a concussion. Alright. Needies. So, he's fine. You made Code groan? How did you... Is Code streaming right now? Is your Yoshi boy streaming? Hang on. Control tab. Twitch. My CPU is going to get so much usage opening all these tabs. You're the pun master. You can rhyme once in a while. Excellent. No, Code is not streaming right now. Okay. Thought he was. Everyone is playing Resident Evil 4 right now. Like, goodness gracious. So many people playing Resident Evil 4. Like... Hang on a sec. I need to bully Puffin, because Puffin's got a pinned message where I can bully him. But it said I could. Alright, cool. And then... Alright. Did it... Okay, so he's doing his own... What is Zip doing? Oh, Zip's got a new outfit! How does Zip get so many cool outfits? I don't get that many cool... Alright, so... Cool. Awesome. Moving on. Getting out of this house. Closing that tab. Closing this tab. I can actually close all of these tabs. Because it's just tips on Kingdom Hearts 3. Most are playing Resident Evil 4 and some Diablo 4. A lot of 4s out there. Shift spacebar? No, control spacebar. Is the chat in... No, it shouldn't be. Hang on a second. Show... Turn it on. Turn it off. Turn it on, turn it off. Nope, everything should be fine. Like, Chimera is not subscribed right now, and Chimera can chat with us. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, I can't turn off Bone Mass Dog, because Bone Mass Dog is a subscriber. Lord knows if I could somehow turn off Bone Mass Dog, I would, you know, start being 150 kilos and have no ass. Twitch being Twitch? Just a little bit. Hi, Velk. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing all right. last night's stream, I had switched on subscribe only messages, which was not that great. Oh my goodness. Why are there all these? Oh, it's because I'm supposed to be looking for, Yugiri somehow. They gave me a lot of thingamajiggies. How can we? Bone is right in your name. Bone! 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 Bone. Have you ever told someone that you have a bone to pick with them? Please tell me you've done that. Like, have you ever just, like, waltzed up to someone and just been like, I got a bone to pick with you. Hey, don't horny bonk me. That was not a horny comment. I will take away the horny bonk from subscribers if you misuse the horny bonk. Where am I going? Who am I looking for? How am I supposed to find this woman? Striking dummies up the wall. Oh my goodness, what is up with my... That's why I am called Papa Bone. That's horny. That's horny. How's it going, Velk? You doing okay? Wait, what did he say? I got 2 bonks. Yes, I got bonked once. Alright. Wait, what am I doing? Search for Yugiri. Smelly liquids? Is that what I'm meant to do? Oh, no, I'm sprinkling these locations. That's not important to Yugiri's quest line. Never the F mind. You're just existing right now? Fair enough. I am currently trying to get through more of Stormblood so I can try and do more dungeon nonsense. Lord knows I want to do dungeons. Because, like, you know, I reckon it would be fun. Granted, I'm probably going to get into a dungeon at some point, and I'm just going to be, like, so utterly terrified of the fact that I have to do tank work. Yay. I think it's this way.
Quote 317. Hi Bone, how is your 68 kilograms ass?
But you have excellent bone. I'm glad to know that my sense of humor is on point. Oh my goodness, I have to share an image in the Discord, sorry. There was, okay, a lot of people seem to think, oh wait, no, I've already shared it, never mind. A lot of people seem to think that, you know, the common autist is gonna somehow be, you know, a Sheldon Cooper, good doctor, savant syndrome autist, where we're apparently gonna be like, oh, I am just going to speak directly to you and be an absolute dick about it because emotions make no sense to me. And so I'm just going to be, you know, really direct with you. It's like, no, that's not how we act. Autistic people aren't like that. Autistic people, such as myself, we're going to be absolutely frightened by social connectivity and, you know, socializing and shit. But we really want to. We really want to talk to people. Check my check the Discord and the memes channel, Furry Cures. It's the one I sent on March 23rd. But, like, I really want to... I like chatting with people, but the problem is that, you know, you might not know all the rules of chatting, so what ends up happening is that you might break a few rules. Some of them people don't really care about, like fallible offenses in basketball, where you're just sort of like, ah, yes, I have made a calculated risk to do this fallible offense, but this is so I can make my team weird. So you do those sometimes, and you're like, aha, you are so funny, autistic person. You are a real comedian. And then you'll have rule-breaking moments where it's just sort of like, don't you ever talk to me again, you autistic scum. How dare you break this social contract that we have devised between ourselves that you should have learned better of. Good day, sir. And then they just go. And then you're just sort of sitting there like, oh my good, because there will come a time where you'll have a conversation with someone and then you won't speak to them for a few hours or a few days. And then you just have this really, really spooky moment where you're wondering, were you responsible for this, like, silence? Were you the one who broke the rules and have now, you know, earned yourself the social ostracization treatment? It is really spooky when that happens. Because the thing is that even just because sometimes just asking, oh, what have I done? Like, what is it that I've done wrong? Some people give the impression that simply asking that is not a good idea. So you run into these scenarios where it's like, you can't ask the person, what have you done wrong at the get-go? You instead just have to play back the conversation like dozens of times over, being like, what have I done differently? Was it the fact that I tried doing this joke? Or was it the fact that I stuck on this topic for too long? Were we too political? Was I too short-sighted? Was I being too neutral? All this like weird nonsense. And then you go through this like spiral of all the terrible things you have actually said, such as, you know, previously talking to women and having some really terrible takes that you can't do anything but just cringe inside as you now realize the adolescence that you have partaken in has actually been absolutely terrible, and there's nothing you can do about it. It hurts sometimes. And you just gotta live with it. Did Gozetsu send you to stop me? Mm-mm. Then you came of your own free will? I should be surprised if you agreed with my chosen course. No one else did. It is not as fanciful as they would have you believe. Scant moments ago, I received the Crown's Prince's itinerary from one of our spies in the castle. 'Twould seem that Xenos has no desire to remain in Doma any longer than necessary. He wishes to inspect the moon gates this very eve. His impatience is to our advantage. He arrived within warning and gave Yozetsu no time to prepare. The whole castle is in a state of upheaval. To avoid any delays, he has decided a full escort.
Don't make me send you to Jesus myself.
Hi there, Blue. How's it going in Nuzlocke Challenge Soul Link? Yeah, I know what you're doing. I know that you're not streaming yourself, but you're streaming in Mega's channel, and you can't do anything as I now do this. Hang on. There we go. Is that the right Megas? Yes, that's the right Megas. Go to this cat. All right, hang on a second.
Emotional damage.
Damn it. Where is Megas? Hang on. Megas. Nope, I don't want the Mega downloader. I want Megas. Where is it? Where are they? There they are. What are they doing?
Emotional damage.
Why you get horny bunk? I don't know. Lol, Blue is like, you can't do this. That's just illegal. Nice fucking try, Blue. It's not even your it's not even your stream. So that's what it does. Why'd you get the horny bunk? Who knows? You might... Maybe it's because they think sucking a lemon is a horny thing. You're too hot for your own good. That could also be another reason. To avoid any delay, he has declined a full escort and will be traveling with no more than a handful of soldiers. The Kami could not have blessed us with more auspicious circumstances. I will kill him, Grant. I will. Not alone. Not today. You and I, we're going on an assassin trip. We're gonna form a creed, an assassin's creed. I know the odds. I know what he is capable of, and that's in an open confrontation. I will likely die. But if I do not, if I succeed, then countless lives will be saved. Doma, Alamingo, everything will change. One life for that world is a price I would pay 1,000 times over. What? What is it? Why are you looking at me like that? Do you mean to join me? Well, yes, that's why I said not alone. Thank you. Thank you. I cannot well express what this means to me. We have much to discuss, but we can do so on the way. Wait, I missed out on a message earlier from Dwarven Crafts. The forecast, stormy with a chance of blood. A storm of blood! That would make so much more sense. That's why I'm still banned in most Twitch chats, because of these moments. If I could take those moments back, but I can't. Yep. Ding, dong, dong, backbone. It hurts sometimes. And here's the hardest thing. Those moments, those times where you cross the line or go like just a little bit of breaking of the rules and such, sometimes that is probably one of the few ways you can actually get a proper social lesson. And that is supposed to be a lesson you learn because of like early childhood communications or
Calm
social
your
groups.
rice paddy.
I will not calm my rice paddy. How in the world is this robot like just picking on the right words to say? You could never break the rules with me because my brain plays 12-dimension chess. Can say anything out of nowhere because my brain finds connections. You were trying to delete that? Oh, let me delete that. There we go. No one knows you overheard 2 rebels plotting to kill the crown prince. Stupid, stupid, stupid. You know how this ends, and they only have themselves to blame. You have to tell them. You have to. Also, don't you oh my god me blue? What are you doing? Oh, you're at the credits. Why are you in here? Oh, because there's a hype train nearby. Wait, can I contribute to the hype train? I already contributed bits though, so I don't think I can. Where the fuck am I going? This way. No, there's no hype train on my thingy-madiggy. There's a hype train on Mega's thingy-madiggy. Hang on a second. You're right. I can gift a sub anonymously. Gift a sub. Can I... And where's the check mark for anonymous? Gift anonymously. Gift 1 sub anonymously. She won't know it was me. She can't possibly know it was me who was the anonymous sub. Don't you dare tell her. I'm watching you. Thank you. Cool. Awesome. You didn't rat me out. Thank you. You won't rat me out on things like... Excellent. You and I, we have a pact now. Shenanigans and chaos can now be ensued in either of our names, and we will do so anonymously, or else snitches get stitches. Apparently the British way is snitches get stitches and end in ditches or something. Or no, sorry. The Americans have snitches get stitches. The British have snitches lie in ditches. Which one do you think is worse? Getting stitches or lying in ditches? Ooh, I can make that a poll. Wait, no, Icy can make that a poll. Icy is one of my moderators. They can write. I don't have to type things in while I'm busy playing a video game. I mean, all they're doing is looking at a cutscene right now. Which one sounds more dangerous? Getting stitches or lying in ditches? What's worse for a snitch? Now, excuse me, I now have to swim across the lake or a basin, the one river. I now must swim across the one river. There might be a little bit of CPU lag because I'm still on the older CPU. Nope. Look at me go. Look at my swimming. Ooh, there's some like weird mermaid thingy-majiggies. Lying in a ditch feels like you're dead as in not alive. What is worse for snitches? Getting stitches, getting hit by bitches? Wait, I have never... What do you mean getting hit by a bitches? Is that one of the things? You're lying. That's not a thing. That's not a thing, is it? Getting into ditches. Snitches lie in ditches. Alright, Hopefully I'm going the right way. How far am I going? Okay, not too far, thankfully. I just have to deal with... Oh, wait, hang on. Compass. To the southeast. Awesome, so this a ways. Sprint. Oh, wait, let me show you the cutest doggo. Cutest doggo right here. If you can convince Mega to check out the cutest doggo, I would greatly appreciate it. She needs to know about the cutest doggo right here. Except, ignore the fact that there's grass. All right. The cutest doggo. Nope, wrong button. The cutest doggo. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Aw, look at him. Arf. Isn't he cute? All right. 120 melm southeast. Jump.
Bowmasker Dog paid me to say Pochita is still cuter.
Absolutely, but that's because they have a chainsaw head, okay? And, you know, you're hitting a Chainsaw Man in the feelings here. I am a Chainsaw Man fan. I got into this when fucking Giguk and Super Eye Patch Wolf were talking about Chainsaw Man, and I'm gonna be real with you, that opening of like, oh yeah, here's a guy whose worldly desire is to touch a woman's boob. Like, you got me on that one, and I stuck around because of the feelings that this man has. Like, starting from, like, bottom of the fucking barrel kind of shit, just looking to live in nonsense, and then, like, all of his happiness, like, oh my goodness. If you guys have not read or seen Chainsaw Man, watch Chainsaw Man. If you want to actually commit to it, you read Chainsaw Man until you get through the Gun Devil arc. You will know when you reach the end of the Gun Devil arc, and then you go into the anime, you watch the first season, and then you go back to the manga, and you keep going on, because we're now into what's called the War arc, where I'm pretty sure the manga Carta is turning the shonen anime into a fucking rom-com. It feels like it. The lady, Yoru, she's a fucking autistic lady, and it's so great. Like, she sends fucking Deku, sorry, not Deku, Denji. She sends Denji to a fucking aquarium, and she's like, ah, yes, here is the starfish. And Denji's just like, I want to go see the penguins. And she's like, no, we have 30 minutes before we go to the next scene. And he's like, huh? So great. You got it. It's so good. Also, yes, the puke scene is weird. And oh my goodness, like, it was disgusting to go through that in the manga. And then there came the moment of, oh, it's going to pop up in the anime. And we're probably going to get sound in the anime, because the anime has visuals and audio. And I was scared. But I was also relishing the fact that there were so many people that were like, ah, yeah, this is how Denji's going to go through in his life. He's just going to escalate from boob touching to kissing to having sex. And everyone who's read the manga is like, no, Denji, no, do not accept the women's advances. No, Denji. Women are dangerous, Denji. If you guys have not seen or read Chainsaw Man, just top tip, women are dangerous in the Chainsaw Man universe for Denji. It doesn't fucking matter who. They're dangerous. This is far enough. Let us discuss our plan of attack. Oh, also, you ready to get fucked over? The character Power is inspired by Cartman. Not similar, not, oh, we didn't see the connection, but, you know, we could accept this. The manga Carta saw South Park, saw Cartman, and was like, we're gonna make this person a woman. That's what the gamers want. That's what the weebs want. They want Cartman, but a chick. And that's how we got Power. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my god, she's doing the ninja run. Chat, you can't tell me. Hang on. You can't tell me that's... Oh wait, I can just like... Hang on. Center again. I can just move this here. You cannot tell me this is not the ninja run. Look at this. Look at this lady. She's doing the fucking ninja run right now with her arms backwards. There is no benefit to running, like... like parallel with your torso, parallel to the ground, with your arms flapping behind you. The only reason that should happen is you can't move your arms. You most certainly can move your arms, and there is a benefit to doing the fucking arm thing. It brings you momentum and forces the core and your hips to move with the run. There is a benefit to running with your arms forward rather than, I can't do it because the leap motion doesn't track this way, backwards. High school nerds are fucking idiots. Everyone in high school is an idiot. The nerds, the jocks, the freaks, the geeks, the queefs, and the bitches. All of them. The only people in high school who were not idiots were the teachers. Pay respect to your teachers. From primary school to college, give respect to your teachers. Unless they try and have you pay full price for a book they published, don't give them the respect in their book. Every other time, however, give them respect. Zenos' itinerary is as follows. He will depart Doma Castle by ship and approach the Moon Gates. The Magitech field will be deactivated briefly, allowing his vessel to pass. It will then continue on to these very docks, where he and his entourage will disembark. Tell that to... I'm glad you said that, high school band director here. Yes. All high school students are idiots. As you can see, this area is not ideal for an ambush. Wide open, multiple avenues of escape, the manor is better suited to our needs. Let us split up and search for suitable hiding places. Yes, let's have me, the fucking Dark Knight who's dripped out looking for hiding places, because that's exactly how I want to operate in this little area here. Also, is there like a thingy-majiggy here? No, there isn't. Okay. Also, hi there, Zapper. I love how Bone is like, yeah, you get a pass, Zapper. What's this? This is a da. This is a ping. Ping da. Dun, 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 dun. Meow. Meow. Obviously, we're going to be hiding here. Yes, this house is made of wood and brick. Surrounded by walls and deserted, this location appears to be ideal for concealment. Ah, there you are. From the roof, we would have a clear view of the docks. It is settled. We shall lie in wait here until Zenos' arrival. As discussed, if all goes to plan, he shall fall with my first blow. If not, then the two of us will have to engage him in open combat. His escort is of no consequence, which means that we will have a 2-to-1 advantage. Nevertheless, he is not to be underestimated. Wait, is Kusaki doing a thing? Oh, Kusaki is doing a thing! He's doing a live DJ! Hang on a second. Alright, hang on a second. I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna put it down to like 15%, so then that way it's not blaring my ears. Wait, can I do the... Alright, hang on a second. Picture in picture. Back to tab. How do I do this? Using JavaScript. Using an iframe. Copy. I have an idea. So, foreground elements. How do I... foreground elements, core overlays, play, Discord Fugi. I wonder if this iframe will work. Will it work? No, it will not. Oh, but I can just go Kusaki Desu. And then control the audio via OBS. Hit OK. And then I will interact with it. And then... Hell yeah. just put it in front of me. God, this is a fucking bop. And then pin this message. Manually unpin it. Ooh, actually, because I can control the thingy-majiggy in here, I can, yep, control the audio via OBS, interact, unmute this, put it to like 10%, and then, where is it? Twitch play. Lower this down to the same level as my music at like negative 10%. Or let's make it negative 11. And then advanced audio properties. Alrighty, where is my... So there's the Twitch play. Negative 12. Monitor and output. Get it out of the second thingy-majiggy. It will stay... It will keep out of the third. It will stay on the 5th channel. Yep, 5th should be good. Awesome. Absolute fucking bop. How does that sound to you guys? Oh, actually, hang on a second. Music, filters, copy, close, Twitch play, filters, paste. So then that way we got side ducking compressor. Side ducking. So that way, based off the thingy-majiggy, it will lower itself to like a 5-to-1 ratio. Well, if that's the case, I can probably raise it just a little bit higher. Quack! Negative 8.5 sounds good. All that remains is to wait. I trust that you are ready. Cookie! Cookie for bestest boy. Fucking vibes. Oh, but it runs... Everything runs just a teensy bit slower if I do this.
He comes.
Sorry, it was very tempting to hit the come button. Maybe on the next... Oh, there's the, what's-a-mahoozy, feller. The strong boy. I'm gonna be real with you. We're not probably gonna win this fight. We might be able to take out, like, her side
piece.
piece.
If it please you, we shall escort you there directly.
Less a province than a graveyard. The rotting husk of a broken nation devoid of proper sport. But as his radiance wishes...
Yes, of course, my lord. And may I say how terribly sorry we are that you had to come so far.
Sorry, that's the come button.
We labored long to sow the seeds of hatred, of fear, to train them as beasts. Now we shall see the harvest. Let there be savage beasts baying for blood, and not hollow-eyed prey cowering in the dark, or there will be no joy in this hunt.
Weird. Ooh. He's doing some weird shit to his sword.
Ambush!
Shinobi? And me without my brute.
Yes. Please tell me we can at least kill her.
How weak you are. Is this the sum of your hate?
This is only the beginning. For Lord Kayed! For Doma!
Please tell me you're not going to be the person responsible for dying. Yay, okay, I'm helping out. Excellent, I'm not leaving her to die.
Mayhap I shall test this new blade of yours. Let us hope it is to my liking, lest your misfortunes compound.
I'm guessing the white-handled blade is the one that she provided?
Then again, I am loath to expend such effort on the unworthy. Come, earn the honor.
Come! Sorry.
Bone Masked Dog thinks you should do 20 squats.
It probably is just a caddy bag, but I can't do my 20 squats right now. Sus indeed. Oh, I'm not actually attacking everyone else. I'm just attacking him. Cool. How much longer must we wait? Oh, he's level 70 and I'm only 66 right now. Wait, no, hang on. I'm like level 70 higher. Meow. Am I actually taking him on? Am I actually succeeding at this nonsense? I think I am. Hello, Code. Welcome back. How was dinner? It was edible. Yep, that's what I would kind of expect for a dinner, for it to be edible.
This day you die. Leave this to me.
That was a cool ninja technique.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, it's an invalid target now because... Oh! Oh, shit. Where's my buttons? Well done, Beast. You have earned the right to look on the Ameno something... Oh, Jesus! Let me just activate my tank stance.
I must fight on. I must.
Run, beast, run!
No. I reckon I can take this on. Oh, Jesus. Unless I'm meant to run, I would rather not.
Give me something to remember.
Don't think you're winning. Oh, Jesus. Look at me. I'm avoiding all the danger spikes. There we go. What's this thingy? A true power of the something or rather is unleashed.
Run, beast, run! Don't stop now.
It's most likely a timed event? Maybe. I'm still alive, though.
I see.
Oh, that's me down for the count. Alrighty, now I can start doing my squats. Here, oh, phone, careful. Alright, now I can start doing my squats. Big stretch for the big boy!
Al amigo, the champion of the savages.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
where the sun doth rise, see
14,
crimson embers darkening sky.
15, 16,
Look ye where the sun doth fall,
17,
see azure lost amidst
18,
the swarm.
19, and 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. Oh, hey! Something's happening. A piece of something fell off. It would be cool if I, could take off my sunglasses at random moments in the cutscene. Ah, now we see his face.
Oh, how right I was to spare your life. Hear me, hero. Endure. Survive. Live.
Oh god, he's hot.
He's not that hot.
For the time between the seconds, live. For the sole pleasure left me in this empty, ephemeral world, live.
He's like just effeminate. Discount Arthas. What was Pint's video where it's like, oh yeah, a man so charismatic that the mere mention of his name will make WoW players cum their pants.
Just saying what most of those who played would have said.
They would just sort of like, you just hear his father like talking of prophecy or some shit, and then you just hear him like say like near the end, so for the Witch King expansion, Arthas.
Get away from them, you imperial dog!
Hey, we're having people help us. Also, your hair loopies are doing a weird thing.
No, don't. You must flee.
I don't think they're going
anywhere. Do you hear me? We're not running away.
I would advise running away.
What you're doing is stupid and reckless, and I never wanted any part of it. But here we are.
Cool. You're probably going to be the last to die in the group, but sure.
Myself. For every time they made me beg, for every time I held my tongue to protect the people I love. And then you came along and reminded me of all the things I never said and never did, and it was even worse. I would have given anything to forget, to walk away, but I knew I'd never be able to live with the guilt. So we came, all of us, for you, for ourselves, for Doma!
Patriotic as fuck is what this sounds like. Let's go. I was wanting to press the come button, but I pressed the American anthem, so we're gonna go with the American anthem for now, as we now take on rebels.
Here they came.
Please don't ban me, Twitch.
Yet you seem determined to die.
We're taking on an empire. This is American as it gets. Hand, come on. There we go.
How wrong you are!
The banner, the music sheet is public domain, but those who play it isn't. Because I hate to break it to you, that's not me playing the Star Spangled Banner.
I can't see a damn thing. Someone stop them!
It's kind of funny how well that fucking Star Spangled Banner played to some of these events. Oh, he's interested in us now. He knows we can give him a fight. Hi, Dazarus. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing alright. How are yous? Alize. I don't think we were followed. Gods, I have no idea what was going through that man's head, but I'm heartily glad he decided to leave. Oh, and don't thank us. Thank Alphanod. He's at the House of the Fierce, patiently awaiting your gratitude. You should have seen the way he turned pale when he heard about Yugiri's plan, and how you, of all people, had decided to help her. He was in such a panic, barking orders, calling for a squadron to be assembled. As were you. I was rather composed, as I recall, though that is neither here nor there. Hey, don't be speaking Finnish to me. Don't be speaking Finnish to me after we just went through a whole thing with the American national anthem. Thank Christ. America, fuck yeah. Can you believe it? We faced the Crown Prince himself and lived to tell the tale. You've no idea what this means for us. What do you mean Finnish? I'm not European at all. No, I was Vietnamese. A while ago, I may have done the quote of, the Americans might fear the Vietnamese, but the Russians are always scared of the Finnish trees. But that's not related to here. America. Guys, chat. Hang on. Is America an emote? Or US? US? No. America. Nope. USA. Nope. How about flag? Nope. Why is the American flag not an available emote in my, Windows 10 thingy-madiggy. Anywhoosies. We're not going to stop until we've taken back our homeland. Alright, getting a bit ahead of ourselves, aren't we? We've got wounded to tend to first. We should get back to the village. Don't you dare pull the lever on me. You cannot silence this American on an American platform that is technically not hosted in America because it's got .tv, so it's Tuvalu. Do not pull the lever. I said do not pull the lever. And I said not to pull the lever. Alrighty, so gotta get to this thingy-madiggy, gotta get to that thingy-madiggy, and then we get to this thingy-madiggy, but then I have to find a time to get to that thingy-madiggy. Running. Rhino beetle. Let me take care of this rhino beetle. Ooh, I got the edge of shadow now. There we go. That was fucking awesome. Why do we even have that lever? And then there's the fun part where Kuzco comes in and he's like, why does she even have that lever? Honestly, The Emperor's New Groove was a pretty decent movie. It was outside of the Disney norm as well when they made it, so that was pretty fun. It felt like a very DreamWorks kind of movie, if that makes sense to you guys. Not early DreamWorks like The Prince of Persia or Shrek. More like more recent Disney, more like recent DreamWorks films, such as Kung Fu Panda or Megamind or Boss Baby. And yes, you heard me correct. I mentioned Boss Baby. As much as we would hate Minions and Boss Baby, you have to admit they did something to the industry. Hang on a sec, I just gotta fall down here. I'm still alive, I still work. I love how there's like calm music in the video game, but then there's just fucking bangers going off in Kusaki's stream right now. Also, I need to, like, do I really want to break my headphones apart trying to get rid of the rattling that's in here? Like... Ren bonded with the realm. Spoilers? Fucking spoilers, Blue. Hang on a second. There we go. Spoilers, Blue. I haven't read the books. I haven't read the Magic the Gathering stories. What do you... No, the card's not out yet. We haven't had a release. They are spoilers. Unless March of the Machines has been released early, Blue, it's a spoiler. You gotta learn your terminology. Man, people gave me so much shit for spoiling Attack on Titan long ago. I'm gonna put in Scryfall, and if it says early look, March of Machines and more, early look, that is technically a spoiler. That is a motherfucking spoiler. It's still a spoiler. It's not a... because it's before the fucking set. It's... Chat. Code. Start a poll. Is a preview technically a spoiler to like a release? I say it is. There's a windows of about 2 weeks after official release. Thank you. I absolutely hated when they revealed in the How to Train Your Dragon 2 trailer. I'm going to talk about this because How to Train Your Dragon 2 has already been released and has been released for a while, but they should not have put into the trailer that Finn's mom was still that his mom was still alive. That should not have gone into the trailers. That should have been a reveal in the movies, because we're now going into the movie knowing who the masked person is as the mom. So we're not thinking of the, oh, how did she survive all this time? It's like, wait, why is she hiding her identity kind of thing? Is it not actually Finn's mom? Is this going to be a switcheroonies for a villain thing? Because if it wasn't revealed to us, we get the moment of, oh no, she's been alive all this time. Oh no, what's her husband gonna think? Granted, not Finn's mom, Hickam. Yeah, Hiccup Horan. Boy. Kept the helmet figure, cut to black before real. Exactly. So yeah, they should have, because here's the thing is that it was still like a great like moment in the film where, you know, Hickup's dad comes into like the cave or what have you, and like the wife is like, oh, like, you know, she thinks that he's ready to just fucking tear shit apart, like in anger or something, or rather, because we think that's what he's gonna do as, like, you know, the Viking motif, like with this toxic masculinity that we put on him. But what actually happens instead is he just has this moment of vulnerability instead, where he like actually like feels emotion, and like, you know, he says that like line where he's just like, "You're as beautiful as the day I lost you." Like, oh my god, like, this man, he became vulnerable. That is not a common thing that is done. And it was done tastefully in this film. It wasn't done as like a subterfuge or as like, you know, a reward. It was done as a, look, it's his wife. He greatly missed her. He's not gonna throw a fit over her. He very much loves her. It was so good. Fukata. Finished already? Fantastic. No doubt. Yep, thank you for the thingy-madiggy. How far away am I from the Aether shit? Aether currents. Let's have a look. We are currently at Yannixa. So we've got one more mission and... Oh, no, wait. One more search and 2 more missions is what we've got. All right, so one of the main missions should do it, and then we're looking for 1,000 yalms to the south. Jesus. Oh, that means it's like all the way basically down here somewhere, and I missed it. All right, we'll deal with it with wolves and weed, I guess. Boy. 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 Boy, 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 boy. How are you feeling after fighting that demon? I can only imagine. I suppose I ought to apologize to you. Yep, cool. Get us into the cutscene, please. What the fuck is going on in Kusaki's stream?
How are you feeling, my lady?
Hang on. What is he doing? Your cactar friends killed me. I like that your thingy-madiggy, like, pops off me, but what I kind of wished for is, like, a ragdoll cam, because there isn't one in the Vignon, and it would be cool. Like, they just leave the camera to be like, oh yeah, the camera will just be set somewhere in your three-dimensional world, rather than it being a, oh, your camera is set in orientation to the character. I feel like that needs to be somehow a trigger, where you can trigger it to either be orientated to the character, in which case it's going to follow it and such like that, or orientated to the world. You need to be able to set one of the two. How are you feeling, my lady? Oh wait, there's audio into this thing, so...
Better for my comrades' ministrations and your most generous hospitality. You need not worry.
Excellent. Good to know.
Good. If there is anything else we can do for the two of you, anything at all, just ask.
Is a preview to a release technically a spoiler? 50% says yes, 50% says no. I am going to give the winning vote, and I am going to say yes, it is technically a spoiler.
Stare any harder and you're like to burn a hole in them. Go and say your piece, for goodness sake.
Yay. Japanese daddy telling the boy how to hit on the ladies.
I'm going to find out how the others are getting on.
Gosetsu, Mistress Alize, I owe you an apology. I acted with reckless disregard for my own safety, and endangered I know not how many others in so doing. Scorning your wise counsel, I knowingly defied our master's wishes, and left you no choice but to follow suit.
Nonsense. I followed our master's wishes to the letter. Consider once more his words, and the intent therein. In offering his head, he but sought to shield his people from harm, loyal retainers included. You must value your life more highly, Shadow Walker.
What's with the feels chocobo, man? You lost, Blue.
Your recklessness did serve as an inspiration to many. Mayhap you should not be so hard on yourself. In any event, if you must apologize profusely,
emotional damage.
Exactly.
Your plan from the first.
L plus ratio, Blue.
That it does. There are no words which will suffice. But thank you.
Go get my leg long. You are not Kahlua. You are not Kahlua. You are not a predator. You are just a lowly, like, icy fox. You're a fucking evolution. I am a himbo. I am top Zeeb.
Alize made me swear to stay behind no matter what.
I don't know, but you're saying you're getting my leg nom, so I'm assuming it's either going to be you, but if no one's going to, you know, nom my leg in your stead... Yes, I see it. It's, Alphanod's sister, Alize.
What? You'll forgive me for changing the subject, but now would seem a good time to discuss where we go from here. Though the Empire has yet to retaliate, the fact remains that we have revealed our presence.
I am a vampire koala. I want your blood. In 40 hours. Is that your accent for the vampire koala, by the by, Chimera? Is it, I am a vampire. I am a vampire drop bear. I want your blood. And your eucalyptus. Blah, blah, blah.
Given that we lack the strength to oppose them, 'tis plain some manner of brilliant stratagem is required. Therefore, I yield the floor to the preeminent tactician of our time with whom I was privileged to share a room.
If you insist. While in Kagane, we debated a number of approaches and were eventually forced to concede that we cannot look to the Alliance for aid. Even were it possible to ferry sufficient forces and materiel from Eorzea in a timely manner, such a massive undertaking would not long escape the attention of the Empire. It would be a miracle if our ships reached the shore. Fortunately, according to Tataru and Hancock's intelligence, the Empire has withdrawn most of its forces from Doma in the past year, leaving her relatively unguarded. That being the case, a popular uprising, spearheaded by the full might of the Doman Liberation Front, may feasibly be sufficient to threaten the seat of provincial government, namely Doma Castle. 'Twould be rather easier said than done, of course, but I have seen worse plans prevail.
Then we must needs meet with Lord Hien and convince him to return, for there is no surer way to inspire our people to rise up as one. He desired proof of his subjects' conviction, and they have provided it, through no less a deed than openly opposing Xenos himself.
Wait, I thought the clap in koalas was hereditary. It wasn't a eucalyptus thing. It was a koala thing. The like a high quantity of the eucalyptus makes the koala high, but they already have the clap because it's hereditary in all koalas. You better not be doing that Australian lie thing where Australians will just, because here's the thing is, I can't ask Code and I can't ask Blue. They will both back up an Australian lie bold-facedly just to make it funny. I need to ask a non-Australian with no Australian allegiance who somehow knows about koalas. You're not even Australian? God fucking damn it. Okay, I gotta go to the bathroom and I'm gonna refill my water. I am going to need to leave you with the vibes of Kusaki while I go and do this. Hang on a second. Where is my buttons? There are my buttons. Oh, I need to put core overlays in here. Oh, actually, no, hang on a sec. I can just add the existing browser. One moment. Where is it? Twitch play. Make source visible. Ah! I can't delete those messages. Type shit. Someone help type shit so it doesn't, like, stay in there. Ah! Ah! Hold on a sec, trying to plug this in. There we go. No, don't write this down, Blue. Stop taking notes. Stop taking notes, Blue.
Did you see it?
No, we didn't see anything.
Did you see it?
Wonder what kind of man Hian is. From what I heard, he's about the same age as me, and then there's Fordola, who isn't a whole lot younger than us both. Like her, he was born and raised in an imperial province. Don't know why we need to speak to all these comrades. Our countrymen's deeds speak for themselves. Lord Hian cannot deny the truth of their hearts. Too long has it been since I looked on it. I will be traveling to Azim's Steppe. I found Lord... Thank you for the Hyper Himbo Zapper. There will be a test on this? No, there won't. Cookie! Cookie for Jason! How hyper can the Himbo get? Oh! I can make it more hyper. Hang on a second. So, there is a channel point. I need to figure out... It's not done yet, because the critical part is... the fact that, hang on a second, the critical part is that I haven't compiled all the voice clips I've gotten from the different streamers that I've asked, and I haven't, like, trimmed them down so they fit into the thingy-madiggy, but there is a redeem that I have created where you can make, so, like, I want to do it, like, maybe during a hype train or something like that. It's a really cheap channel point. And the idea is that you can force, because Vinyan has this really cool thing where you can directly modify the shape key of a model, and you can modify it beyond the scale of 100. So watch this. That didn't work. Why is it not saying bigger? Hang on. Actions. Play a random sound and name sound bigger. Why is it... Bigger. Alright, so there it is there. Bigger. So... Oh, hang on a second. Action... where is it? Platforms. I need to actually add it into the... hang on a second. And then it executes the code. Is it working? Or is it because the Vinyan is taking the redeem? Node, bigger. Yeah, so the WebSocket is doing its thing. So hang on a second. Duplicate, so I have that channel point. Delete that bigger. You're growing, but no sound. Why is there no sound? Oh, it's waiting to do it because the zebra body redeem is currently paused because of the... So if I unpause... Hang on a second. If I go to my queues and I resume it... Bigger. There we go. Because here's the fun bit, is after a certain point, it's going to play, like, the next thingy-madiggy. Bigger. And then, like, if I get to too high, then it deflates me. But then you can make it bigger again. So, I found Lord Hyan once more, and I am confident I can do so again. Moreover, it was me whom he put the question of Doma's resolve. I feel it my duty to deliver to him our people's reply. Bigger! Where's the other thingamadiggy? There it is. So I'm thinking of making it like maybe a redeem that's available when it's a when there's like a hype train, for instance. So then that way people can just start spamming bigger. And I just need to make it so that, you know, to a certain limit, it will just reset it down to 0. The beloved king's returning to urge his countrymen to rise up in rebellion. Not a story you'd ever hear in Charlatan or Ul'dah, is it? Not in those words. You can't jump start with hyper then bigger, or did you reset the hyper to show bigger in context? You can't, I think as far as Vignan, it does, okay, so it does the bigger redeem. If it's less than or equal to 200, it does the bigger redeem, so it adds it to a value of 10, and then the shape key value turns into the parameter bigger. And so I think the problem is that I need to somehow, because, hang on a second. This is what I'm seeing, is this is how they do their code and such like that, is I need to, like, so maybe, so, like, you do, like, the splend shape. I have this reset here, so then that way, once it gets beyond the value of 200, because when it gets to 200, the shirt and all that looks weird. So, yeah, and then that's a toggle. Maybe I can make, hang on a second. So, filter blend shape. Ooh. Okay, so I can get the blend shape name. So hang on a second. Let me find, let's see, numbers. So we got the parameter math here where we can do, all right, nope. Delete that because operation does like the plus and minus and shit. Blend shape to param. So blend shape name is, so it is the extra himbo, and the param name is bigger. And so param name bigger plus 10, and then we make that bigger. So, all right, here's what we're gonna do. All right, so first order of operation is this. And then second operation is getting the thingy-majiggy, and third operate. So it gets the current value of extra himbo, and then it adds it by 10, and then we update the blend shape, so then that way it's the new value, and it's a smooth transition. I love how it says blend shape value of 0 to 100, but the fact of the matter is you can set it beyond 100. I hope that glitch stays. So we have that. And then what we can do then is filter blend shape. So we now have instead, so while the blend shape extra himbo, and so long, let's crank it up to 300 instead. So long as it's so if it's greater than or equal to, but I want it to be greater than. If it's like, Actually, no, this works out. Greater than or equal to, because if we do it to the value of 300, then it only needs to go into this thingy-majiggy. And then if it's, you know... Oh, no, that's not what we want. If it's greater than or equal to, then we need to reset it. And then send the bigger... There we go. Alrighty, and then... we set this to here, and then if it's less than, then it goes to this ordered execution. All right. Yeah, so if it's greater than or equal to 300, then it will set the blend shape to 0, and we can set the parameter, actually, we can set the parameter 0, and then we do the reset move. All right, so if I go, hang on a second. So Because if I look at, say... So you can see all these, like, blend shape thingamadiggies in action. My goodness, my brows go down to, like, 99% because of my eyebrows. Jesus Christ. My eyebrows don't drop that much. Are you kidding me? Okay, 14%. That's a little bit better. My hair is too long. All right, so we see extra himbo is 0. But if I turn it on, then it goes to 100. And then bigger.
Bigger.
And now it's up to 110. And we do it again.
Bigger. Bigger.
Chat, you want to make me bigger? Bigger, chat, bigger.
Bigger. Bigger.
Yeah. So yeah.
Bigger.
I'll leave it on a little bit longer, so then that way people can get a feel for it and, you know, crank out the biggers if they want. Like, look at my hands. Like, what are we at right now in terms of... Ah, there it is. Of the responsibility. Like, look at me. We shall depart for the Azim Step at once. You will be joining us, Grant? For our part, we shall do what we can to aid the Doman Liberation Front in your absence. We will refrain from conducting any large-scale operations in your absence and instead devote our energies to bolstering our ranks and training our new recruits.
Bigger.
When you return, we will be ready for war. If anything happens, if you need us to come back sooner, you'd better contact us. Noble sacrifices are a last resort, remember? Follow me, my friends. We have many malms to travel before we reach reunion. Wait! Don't leave! Here, take these for the road. It's simple fare, but it's the least we can do for you, after what you did for us.
Bigger.
It may be stupid and naive of me to say this, but I will. When you come back, we'll finish what we started. We'll beat the Imperials and we'll win our freedom. So don't keep us waiting too long. Hell yeah, fucking America. Oh, ah! Look at this face. Look at this fucking himbo of a man. Meanwhile, in the keep of Doma Castle... Hang on a sec, I can do that better. Meanwhile, in the keep of Doma Castle...
I would expect no less of Bahamut's conqueror. Prepare the airship. His Radiance will not object. We have fulfilled our obligations here. I would see this prize for myself.
Hi, Blue. Ah! It's just her hair. Don't panic.
Do you understand why I appointed you to act in my stead? You, whose only accomplishment was to whisper the right words in the right ear. Because of your petty hatreds. They render you the perfect instrument to bleed your kinsman of hope. To make an example of Doma. Such as was ordered. Listen well.
She might be important, but I really don't care about her. She's mean. She's evil. Fuck her.
Doma to the rebels. You will not be given another chance to beg forgiveness. Do your duty now, or die with the rest of them.
But yeah, it breaks my model, like, slowly but surely.
Are you all right, my lady? That was uncalled for.
I'm right now at 189 units. Oh! You got knocked the fuck out by a lady who is half your size.
They say your Eorzean is helping the rebels. I want him dead. I want his friends dead. I want the heads of everyone he knows and loves mounted on the castle walls.
I think 200 is the limit I should keep my extra himbo at, actually. 300 is cutting it close with, like, cutting it too close. Hey! No, Shaka! What did you do with my shirt? I need my shirt. I am hyper himboed beyond my natural limits.
I've been waiting for this.
What are you doing with my shirt? Look at this. Look at the extra himbo levels.
Not this time. Oh, no.
The last one will deflate it, yes. I can do that myself. Watch.
Bigger.
Wait, why didn't it deflate? Hang on.
Bigger.
There we go. Oh, it would have been funny if I could somehow, like, get inflated during the, like, the scan the zebra thing, and then at the last moment it just goes like... That would have been great. Oh, is this,
This is the place.
Oh, cool, there's voice lines. Cool.
When his shade was banished, you swore to leave this life behind. And yet here you are.
Wait, is this Estinian? No, that's not Estinian. No, wait, is it? No. Yes, no, that is Estinian!
Yet, if this be the work of the eyes, what choice do you have but to end it?
I know my boy Estinian.
Or so the boy would say. Damn you, Alphano.
Hi, Noel. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing alright. Should I make the bigger redeem cheaper? So then that way, you know, in the future, when a hype train does go off, it's just 1 channel point instead of 2? Because I can make that change on the fly here. Ah! If all are ready, let us depart for reunion in the Azim Steppe. Our route will be somewhat circuitous. We will need to return to the Ruby Sea and head north along the coast past Isari. Da-da-dun, da-da-dun. Alrighty. Oh, there's more blue ticks I can do. Hang on a second. So we got Perchance the thingy and Courage the Cowardly Lupin. I wonder if it's going to be a riff on Lupin the Third. How's it going, Null? Besides the fact that you wanted to hit me with...
1976 thinks you should do 20 squats.
Alrighty then. I gotta do my 20 squats real quick then. Ow. Here we go. Big stretch for the big boy. Big stretch for the big boy. Big stretch for the big boy. Here we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. I greatly appreciate it. Okay, so you don't do anything for me. You're just a normal blue tick. What do you give me? None of you give me anything, like, immediately worthwhile. Why didn't that say anything? Oh, it better not be because, like, the deflating thingy-diggy... Hang on. One moment, please. Nope, the zebra body thingy-diggy isn't, switched off. Oh, action history, hang on. Wait, why was it removed? Hang on. Alright, I'll refund, hang on a second. Reject all, and refund. I'm gonna refund all those requests. Dun, 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 dun. So it does the sound from the bigger thingy-majiggy, and then it executes the code. Oh, is my timer for the Hyper Himbo... Has it not finished, I wonder? Timed actions. Zebra extra Himbo reverse. That one has not been enabled. Oh, okay. That probably explains why my... Oh. Oh, that's not good. The Hyper Himbo doesn't seem to be doing its thing. Hang on. Alright, so bigger does... So it goes into extra him... So blend shape filter, so long as it's less, does the order thingy-majiggy where the extra Himbo is to the parameter bigger. Hang on. Is it because I typed it in incorrectly and then... Bigger, yep, okay, and then... set param when it's greater than... Alright, so I'm sending the signal right now. And I'm sending it like 20 odd times. So that's 192 now. 202. There we go. And now if I try and do... So why is it... So while the blend shape extra 0 is greater than or equal to if it's... Huh. And then set parameter to 0. It does the reset. Maybe that's not what... Maybe I shouldn't have used the blend filter and I should have just kept a param filter. Alright, I'm gonna... Let's see, hang on a second. Filter parameter, there we go. Parameter name. Bigger. And I'm gonna fix the thingy-majiggy, so... Because I probably need to, like, actually, like, fix... Alright, so... If it's greater than 200, then the blend shape becomes 0. Bigger becomes 0, and it sends the reset. If it's less than or equal to... Alright, delete that. Send signal, 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 send. Give me a second, peeps. I need to fix this redeem. There we go. Alright, and then... Avatar setup. Defaults. I have my hotkey alternatives. Extra himbo I can set as a toggle. Oh, there we go. So, for some reason, if I send it as this, it's sent as a toggle. And do him... Okay. So... Vignon like, because Vignon I can set like a blend shape value, but if I set the blend shape value, toggle turns themselves off when it triggered a second time. It doesn't like it if because I'm saying set as a toggle. Send signal, so it makes the bigger, and then I can't press the hotkey normally to turn it off and on. And I think I've broken some things. Man, isn't this great? Just breaking shit as I go along, chat. Let me just go into my actions and just check out the... yep, I'm doing the execute code for the extra himbo thingy-majiggy as well. Is the reverse sending the code? Yes, it should be. Yes, it is. Cool. I wonder if it's just because they don't want to use the toggle. Alright, so there's that. Okay. Well, that's a little bit annoying. I was kind of hoping I could use WebSockets instead of hotkeys for my shit. So then that way, if I was in the middle of pressing a shift key or something like that, it wasn't going to affect the zebra. But if it's going to do that, I don't know how I feel about this system. I feel like I'm playing into more quirks than I would rather like to. Because it's like, oh yeah, like my hotkeys in VC Face can do like the, you know, turning this off and on. But if I start using WebSockets, I can't control them myself. I would then have to, I don't know how I feel about this system now that I've like kind of played into it more and more. Like, do I want to keep fiddling around with Vignon when it doesn't really have that straightforward of like a communication between like, oh, if you like, I want to just be able to be like, oh, let's use a WebSocket as a substitute for a hotkey, not as an actual override of a hotkey. That's how I wanted to use WebSockets. But if I can't, you know, if I can't use WebSockets concurrently with hotkeys, then yeah, I don't know how I feel about such... Lol. Oh, I see. So I need to swim down here and pick up the water weed. There we go. how much of a struggle would it be to change to something else? I could, like, I did a backup of my commands to, or I did a backup of the, of StreamerBot when I was going from VTuber Plus to VYan. But the thing is that if I do swap back to VTuber Plus, as far as I know, I wouldn't be able to do, like, the quote-unquote bigger, because the advantage of VYan is that I can do, like, very small, minute changes to the blend shapes, or even go above 100% with them. Like, that's the benefit of VYan that I've seen. But with where it's at right now, like, it does... For me, like, if I remove those things, it does the same thing as VC Face, but it doesn't do it to the same degree. And I understand, like... And, like, that's a hard thing to debate, because, sure, it gives you, like, this node-based graph to be able to do things such as, you know, the hydrate, the bonks, and what have you, but as I go through it, it's like, some of them are like, oh, it's a nice gimmick that I can get bonked on the head. 95 yon... Oh, okay, so there. It's nice that I can get... It's cool to get bonked on the head, and having my head, like, actually squish when that happens... But I'm playing into the fact that it's doing, like, the bone shape thingamadiggy changes, but it's doing it on the bone shapes based in VRM. It's not doing the bone changes based off of the actual bone system I have. So it's like, I can't, like, I have a bone that is, like, the master for my hair, the master for my ears, the master for my chest, like, the actual boobies part, and I can't reference them in VYan. I thought it would be cool having, like, a follower redeem, or, you know, having it where if someone follows me, because I've seen another user do this, their boobs get bigger. And I was like, I absolutely fucking want to do this. But what it doesn't... there isn't an option for the bone chest. For the chest master bone. Instead, it's the bone that VRMs use, which in this case is the upper torso. But what that means is that it's scaling up everything else on the upper torso, which means the head and the arms, which means nothing really changes. It just looks like I'm zooming in on myself. So if I wanted to do that gimmick of, like, oh, making my chest big and then deflating them again, it's like I would have to create the shape key in Blender, import the model back into Unity, and make the shape key a hotkey thing. So, but the thing is then that effect, that blend shape, that's not unique to VYan. That's now just doing everything else. And the only reason the node does better is, like, the node graph system does better is because I can have some stuff get triggered by my follow event or subscriber and such like that. But here's the problem. Those triggering events, StreamerBot already does that. So, and I'm already using StreamerBot in order to do the things I want to do. Half the time, StreamerBot is just going to do, you know, it's going to be like, oh, do you have a WebSocket we can send a message to, or waiting for a WebSocket? Or perhaps you want to, you know, push an actual hotkey or something. It's like, StreamerBot is already able to do a lot of things based off what happens on my Twitch platform. And what's more is StreamerBot actually has triggers for my YouTube as well. So if I start streaming on YouTube, a lot of the stuff I am doing can, you know, to some degree, get done with StreamerBot taking care of the YouTube shit, then just like my Twitch. So now I just have, you know, VYan doing, like, it does about the same sort of stuff as VTuber Plus. It has a little bit extra because it works a little bit like a StreamerBot. But the problem is that it's not going to do better than StreamerBot because I already have StreamerBot and it can do a lot more, if not better, than VYan. So, for example, in StreamerBot, I can have, like, a list of... Hang on a second. In StreamerBot, I can have a list of sounds in a folder, and I can tell StreamerBot, hey, you are going to play a random sound from this folder. StreamerBot's like, yep, cool. We can pick a random sound. Do you want to set the volume level and all that? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. If I want to do this, if I want to do the same thing in VYan, however, it's an entirely different function. It's not. I'm not telling it to look in a folder and pick a random file. I instead, hang on a second. I'm instead telling it on... So, for example, this bonking the Zeebs, order of operation, and it does all this crazy nonsense. Hang on a second. All right, let me just sprint out of here, so then that way I'm not in danger of getting attacked by anything too big. Let me get onto this rock here. All right, so back to Vignan. So this bonking of the Zeeb is doing like several different things. First, I'm telling it to start a timer on like a particular bonk to alter the shape of my head. Then I'm telling it to start a timer on the bonk noise. Oh, actually, nope, wrong way around. Bonk icon, bonk sound, bonk head shape, bonk reversing of the head, and bonking with the bat. Now, the bonking timer for the bonk sound, I'm not telling it to go into a folder. I'm telling it to do a random 10 things. It's going to randomly pick from these 10 items. And this is where I'm like, okay, here are 10 different sounds. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have only 8 different sounds, however. And the last two, if it picks one of those two, nothing happens. So there's a 1 in 5 chance that if you bonk me on the head, if I didn't have these things, there's a 1 in 5 chance there's no sound. So the solution is just having the next two options feed back into one particular sound or into one of these other sounds. Gonna be real with you, not that great, because these are all in one folder. I'm telling it to look in a folder for these sounds, but instead of it being like a random file in the folder, I'm telling it here are like the exact files. In StreamerBot, it's not that hard. Like, hang on a sec. Let me go to... I think my GrantZeebs is still here. Yep, here it is. I can tell... here it is. Play sound from folder. I tell it the folder. It shows me what bonks are available. And I can tell it whether to finish playing the sound before it goes anywhere else, or it happens recursively, which means, like, each sound gets played.
Bonk! Bonker. Bonker.
See? Whereas with this thing, like, I have to... Hang on a second.
Bonker. Bonk.
Bonk. It's just... I see what the creator is doing, and, like... I think the issue is that as the more I'm using this, the more I'm grappling with, okay, is it a VTuber program or is it a bot for VTubers? Because this is where the graph node is heading to. So, because some of them are really obvious, like, you know, channel point to cactar attack, and then, you know, this is to hydrate. All that is to hydrate, whereas in VTuber Plus, it's just a redeem, and it's like I don't have to have like 3 different thingy-majiggies going off. Like, this is telling it, okay, we're turning on the hydrate, turn on the timer or some shit like that. Here's the water at the front. Here's like the slime thingy-majiggy, and then when the timer turns off, toggles it all again. It's like that's a lot of work. Like, I understand that with a node graph, you can do so much, but the problem is it's like a video game telling you you can do anything. Cool, but sometimes you give people like anxiety over choice. You need to tone down some of this. This kind of works. This kind of works because it's like, oh, scaling up the amount to throw, flinching power, but it doesn't like the health of some of these things is just difficult. Like, this is my health system. I tell it like, oh, if I get a collision of the following tag, get hit with this damage, and then next step is doing a parameter filter on my health. If the parameter is equal to or less than 0, then I set the parameter to 100. And then I also do this order where I yeet myself. It takes 15 seconds to respond. In that time, I tell it that I've ragdolled, and then, or I use the test socket to, you know, send the ragdoll. And it does it once. But here's the problem. This is getting hit every time a collision happens, which means this order of execution happens more than once. It does it on each hit. Even if I'm already below 100, it's going to do the hit. I've seen it in my logs. The web log goes like, brrr. It just goes like, the WebSocket log just goes burr. 42% Himbo, nice work. So, yeah. Like, the only way I can imagine this could, if this could work is if I do, like, say, maybe a call trigger where it's like, okay, like, I need to somehow make it so that if it happens, like, say, if I get hit 100 times below 0, I need to somehow tell the robot only do it once, which is a very difficult thing to do. Like, I would first need to check if the parameter... I would have to do a param filter where it's like, okay, is it, if it's like, if my death is 1, don't do anything. If it's 0, however, turn it to 1 and then do the death call. Like, that's basically what I'm going to have to do. And I'm going to have to say, like, trigger it on the next frame or something rather. So, but even then, it's like, I don't know whether the, like, sequence of events is going to be, you know, correct. All this, however, this health system, however, in VTuber Plus, it's just one toggle. Do you want a health bar system? Yes. That's it. And it will send the ragdoll effect once. And it gives you like the little added bonus of, oh, would you like a camera to be like focus on the character on ragdoll? You can tell that as well. Like, the more I talk about this Vignan, the more it's just a case of it does a few things more than what VTuber Plus does, but it kind of is wrestling with it wrestles with an existing system, in this case, StreamerBot, so I'm having to, like, grapple with, okay, like, how much of StreamerBot am I dismissing in order to, you know, do what I want? I hope Kusaki's having a good time. I hope he's having a great time. Sorry for going on like what feels like a half-hour rant about a VTuber's project, because they did a lot of work on this, quite frankly. They've been in this game a lot longer than I have. They've put in the work. I can't just, you know, dismiss. And I don't want to dismiss. I'm just stuck in this, like, fucking, like, university. There's a course they make you go through, like, for entrepreneurship and shit. And they teach you to be, like, super critical. And it kind of sucks because they teach you a rating system that entrepreneurs usually go through, which is, you know, in a scale of, like, 1 to 5, the first 3 points is just getting, like, meeting the market. Your 4 stars is when you go a little bit above the market, so what makes you different from the standard. And then to get 5 stars is what makes you above and beyond even the industry. So not like what makes you special, but what makes you the choice. But the thing is that when I go into the real world and it's like, oh, hey, do you want to rate your Uber? I was going to hit 3 stars because I was like, yep, nope, it does exactly what I need it to do, 3 stars. And they're like, what's wrong? What did he do? Was his car unclean? Did he not go the right way? And I'm like, it's just 3 stars. He did his job. And they're like, no, that's a problem. Normally they get 5 stars. I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, it's a zero-sum sort of scoring where it's like you get 5 stars and you have to demerit people when they start making mistakes. And I'm like, no, that's not a good rating system. A good rating system is you do your job and you do additional points for going beyond the norm. If everyone is getting 5-star and that's the norm, the scale of normal 5-star and above and beyond 5-star is too vast. Because then you have to deal with like 4 and 3 stars being the problematic ones. But it's like, any whoosies. I just don't like rating systems where they're like, oh yeah, you get 5 stars if they do standard. I'm like, no, I should not be like, maybe this is just an autistic downside where it's like 3 stars is you did the job. Maybe it's an IGN thing. Now I have everything I need. I'll go back to Father now. Thank you for your help. Awesome. I forgot I had that. Does not detect any nearby currents. Damn. Did I get all the currents I need? Oh, yay. No, I did. So I just need to get that mission complete, and then I am able to fly around this place. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, bum, ba, dun, dun, dun. Wait, did I attune to this thing? Yes, I did. Okay. And then I go to this guy, and I should get my Aether Current done. There we go. And I should be able to now fly around. Look at me go. Dun 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 dun. Look at him go! He's flying! Now I can head back to the Ruby Sea. An XP bonus is applied for Foot of the Hill. If no one's there? Alright, I'm not bothering with that. Zeebs on a sheeb. It's a mega sheeb. Hi there, Larkside Moon. Welcome to this. Welcome. I remember you. You're from Dazary's, Oh, I haven't done all the missions to let me fly around here. You were in the, Dazary's, raid last night, weren't you? I was getting mauled. I was mauled while I was playing Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm gonna be real with you. I was absolute furious. Who the F was that? From here, we will turn north until we arrive at a cave, through which we must pass in order to reach the Azim Steppe. Lee Sengozetsu has already gone on ahead. We shall carry on as well. Awesome. Ayo, Neko. I do not know how I would get up there without flying. Oh, maybe... No. Oh, wait, no, hang on. Actually, damn. Never mind. Alright, back on the Shiba Uinu. Oh, Lark, look at this, look at this, look at this. Ready for this? Ready for this? You ready for this? You better be ready for this. Isn't he cute? Look at him go. Look at the Shiba Inu ride. Oop. Dun 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 dun. Which way am I going? This way, I think. Nope, this way. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Excuse me. Hey, there's Gozetsu. Ah, there you are. This is the cave. After you, Grant. Ah, excuse me, nose. Oh, map! Oh, we fuck around with maps. You know you're in a good fantasy when they pull out the map. Look at us go. The key to a good fantasy is a map. Dun, dun, dun.
I remember the vast and endless. The Azim Steppe, home to countless roaming tribes. A sacred land, watched over by elder gods. Here,
oh, that looks like a
we would
horse.
find Doma's salvation. With the wind at our backs, we walked on, in search of hope, in search of him.
Some people might argue maps are a little bit cheating when trying to describe the environment and where you are, but you know you're in a good... It's just a fact. Fantasy books are made that much more, like, bigger and immersive when they have a map. Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit had a map. I give you the Azim Steppe, Grant, though I should say that this is but one small portion of it. Despite the close proximity, Domans rarely venture this far north. Most find these lands and their people strange and foreign. Fortunately, those who frequent Reunion are more welcoming than most. Come, it is not much further. Come! Oh, there's a what's-a-mahoozy thingy-madiggy. Yep, I see it right there. We're gonna have to pick that up before we go deeper into the steppe. And hopefully there isn't one that's, like, you know, right behind us or something. And there we go. Welcome to Reunion, my friends. Here is where we will begin our search for Lord Hien. Thank you. I'm guessing we're gonna get like a little tour of the place. Has a simple plan for finding Lord Hien. The CPU is having some fun. Look at this stretching. When last I spoke with Lord Hien, he said he spent much time in these markets. I'd hoped we might find him here today, but alas. Hey, Yugiri, I've been meaning to ask. There are an awful lot of Xylila here, aren't there? Oh, I assumed you knew. The Azim Steppe has been home to the nomadic tribes of the Azela since antiquity. More than 50 roam these lands, and though they do not constitute a nation, there is a hierarchy of sort determined through ritual combat. Funny. If they've been so busy fighting each other, you'd think the Empire would be able to march in and take the steppe with ease. I wonder why they haven't. Indeed. Liz, why indeed? Perhaps they see little value in it, especially given the fierce reputation of the Xyla warriors who would find tooth and nail to oppose them. These lands were not made for men. The soil is thin and the weather unforgiving. The Xyla found ways to survive, it is true, but they are made of sterner stuff than most Imperials, conscript or citizen. Thanks for taking the time to explain. It sounds like I've got a lot to learn. Later, I mean. We're meant to be looking for Hien. People from many tribes gathering Reunion to trade goods and information. I should be surprised if we cannot learn something of value here. Let us make our inquiries separately. Grant, why don't you speak with some of the merchants here? Dun-dun-dun. Buzz. Fresh buzz. Your choice of lamb or dizo. Guaranteed to satisfy. How many will you have, sir? A doman? Unless another duck car is keeping him in her yurt. He is not here. More fool her if she took a doman for a husband. But enough about domans. Let us speak of buzz instead. You cannot come to the Azim steppe and not sample this most traditional of delicacies. Who? Oh, cool. Alright, so they're just... What fortune you have to come hither at this time. Freshly slaughtered every cut available on request. Organs, too. Hearts, livers, brains, or a brace of blood sausage, if you desire only a snack. Oh, Daman. Poor meat they make, Damans. I jest. I did see a young mole in the company of one some few days ago. Boulder. Oh, wait, no, that's just his biter. Never mind. Roasted fish with pumpkin, an exotic foreign delicacy, cooked for perfection, beloved without the step. Come, come. You seek domans? Then you have come to the wrong place, my friend. Delicious as my foodstuffs are, they find little favor with those from the south. Now, if you were Goro you were looking for, on the other hand, then I might be able to help you. They flock to my souls. My goodness, these people are definitely peddling their wares here. Horsemaster, I have brought you a new brush, my beloved. So smooth and silky your mane shall be, the envy of every other man. Ah, say again? You are seeking who? Ah, the Doman. I know of whom you speak. He comes and goes with a mole girl. Though I could not describe her, I only know that she is mole because I heard them talking as they passed. Use your keyboard on the software to enter any phrase that contains mole to ask the Zayla in reunion if they are of the mole tribe. Okay. Mole. I am Ura, if you must know. Come down from the mountains in the north, if there is nothing else. Okay. Mole. You take me for a mole? I am an Oronir. Compare me not with one so weak and lowly. Mole. Yes, I am Mole. My name is Sirana. May I help you? Yay, we found them. Oh, I see. You're looking for Hien in that case. How urgent this business must be to leave our conversation unfinished. The Kinsai, will you buy it? There is but one bundle left. If not, then... I will! Though I had not thought to pay so high a price. Eh? It is a bargain for which you should be grateful. If you lack the coin, then the fault is your own, and you will leave with nothing. Please, I must have the Kinsai. The gods themselves requested it. We are bound to their will. Pay me the difference in Whisper Root, and I will sell it to the next apothecary to pass through union, and we will each feel fairly treated. But do not tarry. Should another come before you, coin in hand, I will not refuse him. I understand. Thank you for this kindness. Why don't I just pay for it? I have money. I am sorry, but we must speak of Hien later. I cannot leave reunion without that Kinsai. Cool. You want to help me, is that it? Yes. I do not know what to say. Thank you, Grant. Thank you. The lumbering ones we must fell wander the plains to the west of Reunion. If we each harvest 2, then we should have enough whisper root. Return here when you have finished. Good luck. Alrighty, this ways. And we're gonna sprint for this thing. Jump. Oh, I almost cleared the river. Plunge. Alright, here's the next one. And then... Can I plunge? Plunge! Yeah! Did it! Alright, that should be the 2 of them, and I can now start sprinting. Welcome back, Grant. Have you brought the Whisper Root? Yes, I did. Here is 2 of them. Blessed is he who shows kindness to strangers, for with fortune does he ever ride. Will this quantity suffice? It shall. The Kinsei is yours. The gods favor you more than you know, child. Udgon rarely have need of such herbs, and so my stock is limited. Had you come a day earlier or later, I would have none for you. Perhaps the gods guided me here, as they guided grandmother, as they guided this man from the west. Cool. Talking a lot of nonsense, I'm gonna be real with you.
Hey. How goes the search? Any luck?
Yes, this woman might know where the Lord is. Do have a discussion with him.
What fortune to meet a friend of the young master.
Well met, Cyrena. If you have an inkling as to the current whereabouts of Lord Hien, we should be most grateful for your assistance.
Oh, please! It is I who should be grateful.
Hold! What is this? I came first, you second!
Oh no, what's going on? Oh.
Know you to whom you speak? All people of the steppe should. Or have you fought so much that you have forgotten the face of your superiors? Superiors? I spit on your superiority, little prince! Twisted and mad as sand devils your kind are!
I know this is supposed to be like a very serious moment, but Kusaki's DJ set fucking bops.
Arnia and Dothal, the 2 strongest tribes. The children of Azim are destined to rule, so they declare to all who will listen. Their word is law. For now. Grand, flamboyant fighters, but deadly, very deadly. He prances as a horse, as do his brothers after their many recent victories. The Undying ones too are strong, fearless, and vicious. They often reigned in the past. Now They are sorely tested.
Hmm. Sorry, I just needed to bite my fingernails.
Ah, the
It's a
master
relatively
of the
terrible
Marks.
habit, but it's my
He
habit.
is Castillo. To fight in reunion is forbidden, and to break the peace is to be banished forever. This he says without words, for words are lies to the Castillo. They do not speak.
That's interesting. And all these different tribes share the same lands, do they? No wonder it's tense.
I shall look for you on the field at the Nardum. Mark my words!
As shall I. Mayhap I shall take 11 more Dothar heads to make a dozen with yours. I look forward to the day.
The dispute will be settled at the Nardum?
A great battle.
You have the
held
same
in
habit, and the
honor
universe
of
tells you
the
you pick the
Sahan.
wrong time to do that every time.
During this
Lol.
time, all bonds of hierarchy are broken.
Mm.
All Zayla are equal and free to prepare for the fight. The tribe which triumphs in the Nardum rules until the next Sahan-san,
Right.
which in these lands is now.
So that is what they call the custom. I presume your tribe will also be taking part?
I thought the moles were, like, low.
Not all seek the Dawn Throne. Some are satisfied with their lot. Others, like the Kestir, have reason to remain neutral.
Hmm.
Them all are lambs among wolves. Long were we content to remain
Ugh.
apart and live quietly,
It would be funny if we helped the moles be, like, king.
but never mind that. You see Kien, yes? I know where he may be.
Alright, give us the piety. Alright, can I attune to this thing? Yes, I can. I am most certainly going to attune to this thing, because I am going to end the stream here. It is, I know it's like not 9 p.m. right now, but considering I am going to need to be awake and streaming again in 12 hours, that's right. GrantZeebs is going to be streaming again in 12 hours. This is so then that way that there's some American and Canadian peeps who have a better chance of being able to watch me stream. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be going through more of Kingdom Hearts 3 because I somehow got roped into dealing with the end boss DLC or some shit, and I really need to get through that so then that way no one questions my skills in going through the Kingdom Hearts franchise. But before you all disappear, I would like to set up a raid. Now, the person we are raiding into, you may not have heard of often, but they are responsible for some really great art. Who's questioning your skills? Everyone. Everyone every day is questioning my skills code. It's just the way of the world. But we are going to go raid into Chase Desu. They're a fan of Call of Duty stuff, but they are a really cool artist. They are responsible for some of my emotes, such as, hang on a second, pretty sure they're, let me double check my emotes, because some of them are, give me a minute. Angie. So the Angie should be one of them. Damn it, it doesn't say. Hang on a sec. Back. Exit. Normally there's like an artist like thingy-madiggy for saying, ah, yes, this person is responsible for the emote. Another one they have done is... Where is it? Pretty sure I went to them for the cake emote as well. But... But yeah, so we're gonna go raid into this guy. They're right now going through Call of Duty Mobile, but they're really good artists and such. And we're gonna go with the classic raid message of Himbo raids. Hey, show us your cutest guys, gals, or non-binary pals, or prepare to get swole. So we're gonna send that to them, and it should hopefully be a really good surprise for them, because they don't have too many peeps for them, but they're really good artists, and it would be lovely seeing them growing on this platform. I will be back online tomorrow morning, Australian time for me, which might be, you know, the evening for some American peeps. But otherwise, I want to say thank you everyone who came along to tonight's stream. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you hopefully tomorrow morning as I get through the last of Kingdom Hearts 3. Bye for now.